Good morning, student. In the last class, we discussed the sequential type and its type, and today we'll discuss the flip-flop. One type of flip-flop, that is SR flip-flop and D flip-flop. And as you know that flip-flop is the part of sequential circuit, or it is one type of sequential circuit. So in last class, we got few idea about flip-flop like latch, and latch is the simplest form of flip-flop, and the flip-flops having four types: SR or RS flip-flop, JK flip-flop, D flip-flop, and T flip-flop. In SR flip-flop, it has two input states. One is called S, another is called R, and S stand for set, R stand for reset. As well as it has two output terminals, one is Q, another is Q complement. So we can say that the output terminal of SR flip-flop or any flip-flop is complement with each other. And SR flip-flop or RS flip-flop is root to all flip-flops. That means uh, whatever flip-flop we will going to learn, every flip-flop using SR and RS flip-flop to develop, like JK flip-flop, D flip-flop, T flip-flop, all are using SR flip-flop as its root element. So this is the structure of SR flip-flop, and the SR flip-flop is built with NAND gate. We have four NAND gates, okay, and uh, at this arrangement, this site is called the input terminal in the form of S and R, and we are getting the output terminal Q and Q naught. Okay, at input side we have another input terminal, that is CK. It is a clock. That means with the clock sequence, this SR flip-flop will function. Just remember, in the previous class I said that sequential circuit having two types. One is a synchronous sequential circuit, another is asynchronous sequential circuit. In synchronous sequential circuit, the circuit receive the input along with the clock pulses, okay, but in case of asynchronous circuit, the circuit will receive only the input values, not the clock sequence. Okay, so this SR flip-flop is the kind of synchronous sequential flip-flop. Okay, so we have four different cases in SR flip-flop, because in SR flip-flop we have two input terminal, and these two input terminal having four sequence of input values. Okay, so that may be, say we have two input terminal S and R. That means we can have S equals to 0, R equals to 1, or sorry, S equals to 0, R equals to 0, S equals to 0, R equals to 1. Okay, the similar way S equals to 1, R equals to 0, and S equals to 1 and R equals to 1. That means as it is a two input terminal, we have four possible combinations as a input terminals. Okay, at the time of input the value, as well as the clock value. The clock value should be 1. Okay, when the clock becomes 0, then the circuit will stop working. If it is 0, then it will not work. Okay, if it is 1, then the circuit will start functioning. Clear? In the first case, if S equals to 1 and R equals to 0, so just say S equals to here 1 value and R equals to 0 value, and clock is always 1. When clock is 1, the circuit will start functioning, right? If clock is 0, then there is no use of this circuit. Okay, or it works with the negative clock cycle, right? So for this case, for this NAND gate, we have two terminal. One is S is 1 and clock equals to 1, so it will produce the result 0. Clear? At this, after this first NAND gate, the result will be 0 when we supply 0 0 at the input, as the input to this NAND gate. The similar way, the clock is 1 here and R equals to 0. In NAND gate it becomes 1. See, NAND gate is the working of NAND gate is opposite of AND gate. Okay, in AND gate, when we supply 1 1 at the input terminal, the result will be 1. Clear? but the operation of NAND gate is completely opposite of AND gate. So in NAND gate, when we supply 1 1 at the input side, the result is 0. Clear? And for the second sequence of NAND gate, this NAND gate taking the feedback connection of the output of another NAND. Say just I am naming it 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4. Okay, this 4 number NAND gate, 3 number NAND gate needs the feedback connection of fourth number NAND gate. The output of fourth number NAND gate is connected as a feedback to the third number of NAND gate. Okay, so as we have a first value is 0, then we can supply the first value and see what is the result here. This NAND gate we will supply 0 here, the result will be 1, and this 1 is feedback to this 4, NAND gate number 4, or the output of third NAND gate is the feedback to the fourth NAND gate. So here the result will be 1. So now this fourth number NAND gate having two input values. So this is the it will produce the standard output, right? So that means 1 1 it will produce 0. Okay. When we supply 0 to this uh, the feedback connection to the third NAND gate, that means 0. So when we supply 0 0 to this NAND gate, it will produce 1. Okay. So at the Q terminal, we'll get 1, this one 1, and the Q0 terminal we are getting 0. So this is 0. Clear? So this type of output is called set condition. When the set condition will arise, if Q equals to 1 and Q0 equals to 0, that condition will be called a set condition. Okay. See, so as I said, the output of the flip-flop, SR flip-flop or any kind of flip-flop, the output must be complement with each other. So here we are seeing that this Q and Q0 both are complement with each other. That means the output of Q equals to 1. So ultimately the Q0 should be 0. So we are getting 0 here. Okay. When you supply S equals to 1 and R equals to 0, we are getting such kind of output at the output side. So this is the first case. Clear? And for the second case, see, we will see the second case. Okay, see for the second case, when S equals to, just wait a minute, let me erase everything. Okay. Okay, for the second case, S equals to 0 and R equals to 1. So I am taking S equals to 0, R equals to 1. And I said that clock is 1 here. I supply clock is 1. The clock is 1 means clock is in active state. In the last class, I said that clock value is fluctuating from 0 to 1. Okay, 0 to 1. So when clock equals to 1, this first NAND gate produce 0 1, the result is 1. Okay, here the clock equals to 1. For this NAND gate 2, the input value is 1, clock is 1 and R equals to 1, so it will produce 0 here. So see, first we will proceed the NAND gate number 4. So when I supply 0 to this NAND gate 4, it will produce 1. This 1 is not the standard output of NAND gate 4, because in NAND gate 4 we need the two input terminal, but we are passing only single value. So it is, we cannot say that it is the standard output. Okay, this 1 is feedback to the NAND gate number 3. So here I can supply for the NAND gate number 3. We have two input values, that is 1 and 1, so it will produce 0. Okay, and again this 0 is feedback to this NAND gate number 4. So now we will say when we will produce when we will process the NAND gate number 4 with the input 0 and 0, we will get the value 1 here. Okay, so what is the output? Final output, the final output Q equals to 0. So this q value is 0 and q naught value equals to 1. Q naught value is 1. So that means again we are getting the same situation, that is the output is complement with each other. So that means q equals to 0 and q naught equals to 1. So this procedure is complete, correct one. So whatever condition we will get, that is called reset condition. Okay, in reset condition, q value equals to 0 and q naught value equals to 1. Okay, so in set condition we are getting q equals to 1 and q naught equals to 0. Okay, so after that we have another sequence, another type of sequence, input sequence. We'll see that. Okay. So another type of sequence is called S equals to 0 and R equals to 0. When we supply S equals to 0 and R equals to 0, what will happen? So whatever the state is called, that called is memory state. Okay, that state is called memory state. So here I would like to say that memory state means what? So before that, see, for S equals to 1 and R equals to 0 and S equals to 0, R equals to 1, whatever the state will come, that is the opposite state, or we are just, we will get some state there. Okay, for this S equals to 1, R equals to 0, we are getting set state, and for S equals to 0 and R equals to 1, we are getting the reset condition or reset state. Okay, we are getting the two states. Whether we are supplying S equals to 0 and R equals to 0, whether we are getting the another state or we are just getting the same state, whatever is uh, already developed. Okay, so when S equals to 0 and R equals to 0, so see, this NAND gate 1 receive S equals to 0 and clock equals to 1, so we'll get here the result will be 1 here. The similar way, here also we are getting the result 1 at the output side of NAND gate 2. Okay, so here 1 is supplied to this NAND gate 3 will produce the result 0. Okay, when I supply 0 to this NAND gate 1, okay, 0 0 0 1. So when I supply 0 1, it should be 1. Clear? Because it is the NAND gate. Clear? Don't get confused. So this one will be feedback to here, and 1 1 will produce 0 here. See, q equals to 0 and q naught equals to 1. You are getting the state before this procedure. At what condition the q equals to 0 and q naught equals to 1? So it is the reset condition. Okay, that means when S equals to 0 and R equals to 0, we are not getting a new state or new condition. Rather, we are getting the new condition, a new state. We are getting the previous condition. Okay, and the previous condition is remain inside the circuit. Clear? So that this is called memory condition. Clear? So before the entry of S equals to 0, R equals to 0, we are just evaluating the reset condition, so that we are just obtain the reset condition. If we do the set operation, then we will retain the set operation or set condition when S equals to 0 and R equals to 0. Okay, so that is called memory condition. Clear? Again, I would like to repeat here. So see, for case 1, we have S equals to 0 and R equals to S equals to 1, R equals to 0. We are getting the set condition. And for the case 2, we are getting S equals to 0 and R equals to 1. We are getting reset condition. That means these two conditions are different with each other. Both conditions are not same. But when we supply S equals to 0 and R equals to 0, we are getting the previous two, any one of the two condition, previous two condition. That means we are not getting the new condition here. So we are retaining the previous condition. So that is called memory state. Okay. So I can say here, just a general sense, if there is no signal to this device, so that means whatever the result will be present, that is remain until we are supplying the new value at the input side. Okay, so that is called memory state. We have another sequence, another input sequence. So that sequence is, the last sequence is S equals to 1 and R equals to 1. Let's see what will happen. Okay, in case 4, we have S equals to 1, R equals to 1. Okay, what will happen? When we supply S equals to 1 and R equals to 1. So here 1, 1 equals to produce 0, right? For this case also 1, 1, this gate will produce 0. And when I supply 0 to this NAND gate, it will produce 1. And this 1 is supplied here. 1, 0 produce 1. And 1 I supply here. Okay, so again 0 1 that produce is 1, 1 0 produce 1. So this violates the rule of the flip flop. Okay, the what the rule of the flip flop says that the output should be complement with each other. Okay, but this thing is not happening here. Here q equals to 1 and q not equals to 1. This is not possible. We cannot determine the state. Okay, that means we cannot say that it is the set condition or the reset condition or memory state or a new state will come. That is not possible in case of when S equals to 1, R equals to 1. Okay, this completely violates that this Q should not be equal to Q naught. But it is happening, that is Q equals to Q naught. Q equals to Q naught. This is not possible. So that this is called a forbidden condition or not applicable condition. Okay, so in SR flip-flop we have 4 cases, 4 different cases we'll find. So these cases will depend the sequence of input that can be 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. Okay, so we see that when S equals to 0 and R equals to 1, we'll get this set condition. When S equals to 0, R equals to 1, we'll get this reset condition. Okay, so this is the our final output. When S equals to 0, R equals to 0, we have no change. That means that can be called as a memory condition or memory state. When S equals to 0 and R equals to 1, we are getting the reset condition. At the same time, the Q naught, because Q naught is high and Q equals to 0. Okay, so for this S equals to 1 and R equals to 0, we are getting the set condition. Whatever result will come, that is called set condition. In set condition, we have Q equals to 1 and Q naught equals to 0. Okay, but when S equals to 1, R equals to 1, that is called not allowed condition or not applicable condition, right? That condition is called, basically it's called forbidden condition, because it violates the rule of the flip-flop, that is Q should not equal to Q naught. Okay, so we can also construct SR flip-flop in NAND gate. We can also construct the SR flip-flop in NOR gate. When we construct the SR flip-flop in NOR gate, that is called RS flip-flop. Okay, when we use this NOR gate, this is called RS flip-flop, and the tabulation or the excitation table of RS flip-flop is different than the SR flip-flop. So for RS flip-flop, just I am writing here RS. For a RS flip-flop, this is called not applicable condition. When R equals to 0 and S equals to 0, that is called not applicable condition, and this is called memory state or memory condition, and both are remaining constant. Both are same. Either we'll get the set condition or reset condition, right? So it means that in SR flip-flop, in 2 input sequence only we are state that we are discover a new state, that's called reset state or reset condition or set condition in 2 input sequence only. Okay, and one sequence, that is 0 0, for this case we are getting the memory condition. So but this thing is very dangerous in SR flip-flop. When somebody supply 1 1 at the S and R input terminal, then we'll get not applicable condition, which is not used. Okay, okay, see, in SR flip-flop we can do one thing. if both S and R terminal are connected together with a NOT gate. Okay, so that means we can supply a single, we can supply either 0 or 1 because it becomes a single terminal. So whatever that thing is developed, that is called D flip flop. Okay, so D flip flop says that in SR flip flop, if the input sides, both input sides, okay, one is S and R, both input sides are connected with a single terminal. Okay, or we make these two SR flip flop into a single terminal with a NOT gate. Whatever flip flop will develop, that is called D flip flop. Okay, so this is nothing but this is the S terminal, this is the R terminal. Okay, and in both S and R terminal are connected with this NOT gate. Okay, this both is connected with a NOT gate. I will tell you why it is connected with the NOT gate. Okay, and both are connected with the clock. Both gate is connected with the clock. As I numbered is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this flip flop is called D flip flop. Again, D flip flop, there have two output terminals, the Q and Q complement. So as the number says that if there is a Q, that should not be equal to Q naught. Okay, if it is equal, then it violates the rule of flip flops. That is not possible. We will see. We just got the idea in SR flip flop when S equals to R equals to 1. So in that case, Q equals to Q naught. That Q equals to 1 and Q naught is also 1. That is not applicable condition. Okay. So when in SR flip flop, if we connect the two S and R terminal into a single one with a NOT gate, then whatever gate will form, that is called whatever the flip flop is formed, that is called D flip flop. Okay. So in D flip flop, we have only two state, that can be set state and reset state. Okay, because we can supply only 0 and 1 because it is a single state, we can supply 0 or 1. Okay, so when you supply 0 to this circuit, then it becomes 0, but due to this NOT gate, the 0 is converted to 1 here. So that means when S equals to 0, R equals to 1, we are getting the reset condition. Okay, when S equals to 0, R equals to 1, reset condition. When D equals to 1, S becomes 1 and R equals to 0 due to this NOT gate. Okay, whatever result will produce, that is called set condition. Clear? With a clock high, clock is always high. So this D flip flop is also known as a data flip flop or delay flip flop. Then why it is called data or delay flip flop, or specifically why it is called delay flip flop? See, in D flip flop, as we are connecting these two SR flip flop input terminal into a single one with a NOT gate. Okay, that means we can supply only 0 and 1. So for example, I am supplying 0 in this D terminal. So this 0 will simply supply to this gate 0, and for this gate, this 0 becomes 1 because of this NOT gate. Okay, so it will just produce some result. Okay, it will produce some result. Okay, say the result is like this. Whatever result will come. Okay, so Q equals to 0, Q naught equals to 1. Okay, clear? So at that time clock is high, clock value is high, that is 0 to 1. Okay, so if you are not changing the input value at the input side, until that these two values remain at the output side. The output side is not changing. Okay, so that means it will delay sometimes. How much time it will delay? Until we are providing the new value at the input side. Okay, clear? As I said, the clock value is fluctuating. If we see the timing graph of clock, sorry, the diagram of this clock, okay, the clock value is fluctuating. It becomes 0 to 1, 1 to 0. It is continuing. When the clock value is fluctuating, it will not affect to the output value, output side. If the clock is high, then whatever value is there, that will functioning. If clock is low, that means clock value is 0, okay, then it will work. So for this case, at the leading edge, as I said in the last few class back, what is the meaning of leading edge and what is the meaning of falling edge? No, don't get confused, we will discuss it later on, okay. So at the leading edge, the circuit will functioning something, and it will produce q equals to 0 and q naught equals to 1. At the falling edge also, it will not changing, because we are not providing any input at the input side. So that is called delay. It will delay for some time. That time may be delta time, delta t time, or the time may be t time, one clock cycle. The t is called one clock cycle, okay. So if we change this input 0 to 1, so we'll get some changes at the output side, okay. So that it is called delay flip flop, okay. We have only two state, one is the set state or reset state, or I can say here set condition or reset condition. There is no question about the memory condition or not applicable condition, because we cannot supply 0 0 simultaneously to this gate, okay. This is not possible because of this NAND gate, NOT gate, okay. So you can identify why the use of the NOT gate. Due to this NOT gate, we can remove the not applicable condition of SR flip flop. So same time we also remove the memory state of SR flip flop, okay. So that means the D flip flop is only for the set applicable and reset applicable. It cannot be used for memory applicable, or we cannot use for the memory applicable, okay. SR flip flop is the root of all flip flops. Okay. Then what is the use of D flip flop? Basically, the D flip flop are used for the clocks. When we are using counter, the best use of D flip flop is for counter. Okay. It will count the clock value. The similar way, the D flip flop can be used in registers, because registers are used to store the data. Clear? And it also shift the data. Register basically used to store the data as well as shift the data. Similarly, if you are using D flip flop in register, so as the D flip flop is the data flip flop, delay flip flop, that means we can store the data for some time. But the time is this one, delta t time or t time, one clock cycle or a delta t time. Okay, so this is all about SR flip flop and D flip flop. Again, I will repeat here. The SR flip flop having four state. One is reset condition, set condition, okay, then memory condition, not applicable condition, and all condition can be derived according to the output, input at the SR flip flop. Okay, in SR flip flop, basically we have four sequence of output inputs. One is 0 0, 0 1, 1 0, and 1 1. According to that, we are getting the states, different states. Okay, and SR flip flop is the root of all flip flops. JK flip flop, in JK flip flop, we are going to use the SR flip flop. In D flip flop, as you see here, we are using the SR flip flop. Okay, and T flip flop also we are going to use the SR flip flop. In some modification of JK flip flop also we are using the SR flip flop. Okay, so the use of D flip flop is that in D flip flop we have only one input terminal that can take 0 or 1. Okay, for that reason we have only two states. One is the set state and the reset condition. There is no in memory state and not applicable state found in SR D flip flop. Okay, and the D flip flop is also known as data flip flop. Okay. Okay, in the next class we'll see what is JK flip flop and what are the use of JK flip flop. And we also see the T flip-flop. Sorry for this small changes here. We need to, this is the D flip-flop. This is not D flip-flop, this is the T flip-flop. We'll study about the T flip-flop. Okay. So T flip-flop is also some modification of JK flip-flop. As we develop D flip-flop, or we see D flip-flop is the modification of SR flip-flop. Similarly, T flip-flop is the modification of JK flip-flop. Okay. So whatever doubt you have, you can contact me on my WhatsApp number. Okay. And practice all questions regarding this SR and D flip-flop in your home. Okay, thank you so much.